Well, good morning.
Good morning.
Let me boot my computer up. You know, we had that electrical storm, and things are a little different this morning. So we're rolling with the changes here. But good morning. Welcome to the Grants Pass Center for Spiritual Living. I'm Reverend Steve Van Meter, and welcome back to school, students of truth. Right? It's September, right? All the kids go back to school, and it's the same here. We are going to review a little bit. And it's not going to be like school. This is going to be like cool school. Yeah. Like, it's a revelation. What? I knew that, but I didn't know that I knew that. So we call this Metaphysics 101. And I want to start with reading something out of our Science of Mind textbook. This is disguised to look like a Bible. Because it's my Bible. I mean, I love the Holy Bible, and it's a wonderful teaching text, and it's got some great truth in there. And I invite you to look at other texts too, because that's one perspective. And some people think that's the only perspective, but there are many if you look for them. This is the Science of Mind by Ernest Holmes, and if you give this a read, it will blow your mind. But anyway, I'm going to go back to the glossary here. And this is something he wrote on page 611, paragraph 8, Metaphysics and Metaphysical. The scientists of today are closer than ever before to agreeing with the metaphysician that God is creative intelligence or mind everywhere present in the universe and manifesting through every created thing. Metaphysics is more than just a speculative philosophy. It is the science of being. The science of being. Well, I see this as the study of life and the nature of the laws of thought. The laws of thought work a certain way. And when we know how they work and we work within that way, we're not surprised if we may trip and fall. If we know how gravity works, if we don't lift our foot high enough on the curb, no matter who you are, no matter what land you live in on this plane of existence, you're going to fall up the curb. You know, you always look back at the curb like, you raised yourself just before I got there, right? It's like, it was its problem, not mine. I was doing fine, right? So, metaphysics is the science of what is beyond the physical realm. Revelation is God's attempt to reach man, and religion is man's attempt to reach God. Spirituality is when we begin to know that we are God and start to act as though it were already so. You know, some of you may be saying, oh, it's blasphemy to say that you're God. How could you? Not in this church. I think it's blasphemy to say you're not. If God made everything that is, there's not God and this, there's God as this. There's only one of us here, having a countless billion, trillion Google number expressions. And here you are. I think that God created individuals so that we could have lunch together. Yes. Truly, where two more are gathered, there is food. At least in this center there is. So here's some basic metaphysics. Now I'm going to get into some heavy metaphysics later, so I hope I don't, drown some of you fresh students out, but I'm going to give you something to chew on this week. But I have something in my back pocket for all of you advanced students, and you know who you are. All of you. A thought plus a feeling plus a physical or mental action equals a demonstration. Equals a demonstration. What is a demonstration? Well, if you add 2 plus 2, the result would be 4. That's a demonstration of math, right? We can all agree that that's how it works. If we couldn't, this would be a whole different plane of existence, wouldn't it? So a demonstration is a result. When we pray for something and it happens, that's the demonstration that prayer happened. That's how it works. In this religious science, that's what our teaching is called, we believe that there is a provable theory to prayer. If it were not so, it would not be provable. It is done unto us as we believe. Belief in things, belief in things create things. You know, in this teaching, one of Dr. Ernest Holmes was, change your thinking, change your life. It's on the cover of our 80-year-old magazine. We've been in print over 80 years. Science of Mind, wow. How many magazines have done that? A couple. Change your thinking, change your life. And I would like to take it just a step further. Thank you, Dr. Holmes, for that energy. But I think it's change your belief and change your life. I mean, thinking is one thing, and we think thoughts all the time, but what do we truly believe? What do we believe? Because you are only able to demonstrate at the level of your belief. You can't demonstrate more than what you believe you can. If you can, you will, and if you can't, you probably won't. If you believe you can, you're open at the top. If you believe you can't, the universe says, yes, let me show you how you can't. And we don't demonstrate, and we think this stuff doesn't work, when it's proving itself perfectly because of your belief system, which has made me want to throw the textbook across the room at times. Religion is self-made. They all came up from a personal revelation of one person. Jesus, Moses, Krishna, Buddha, Muhammad. Fill in the blank for yourself. Each of these individuals and many others had a profound personal experience with the divine, with God, and had a personal revelation. And they talked about it, and they wrote about it, and they shared it. And people got it, and they became interested in that. They shared that revelations with others who then, having been inspired by the revelation, sought to touch the wisdom of the insight by creating ritual, cultural practices, religious rules, and observations, etc. These things became the religion, and the dogma followed. Dogma is a point of view put forth as authoritative without adequate grounds, unprovable, but provable, if you believe. Which brings me to my karma ran over your dogma. Now, let's not, let's bless all the doggies in the world. Come on, But what I'm talking about is our karma is what we believe. And if we believe in dogma, that will be our demonstration. So just think about it. Take that into your week. There is real value in being steeped in tradition, ritual, practice that you did not invent, that you stick to and don't just throw it out or replace it when it seems not to work, feel good, or convenient, or is comfortable. When we reflect on it further, discovery that all religions are ultimately self-made. There are as many religions as there are people in the world. Because you get to believe whatever you want. You can be brainwashed, but that part of you that can never change still has its knowing and its connection to all that is. If you are steeped in an ancient tradition, doing things that way that have worked for you for eons, because it was how you were raised or what works for you, we're not here to bash anybody's religion. We want to make you the best of whatever you are. Choose whatever you choose to be, and be it. Be a source energy creator. Be a Christian in the loving sense. I mean, let's just look at what, I'm not going to go there. Because I don't need to get caught up in that interpretation. This is what we call an open at the top teaching. Something is happening. I think we can all agree that something is animating us. Something is allowing us to wake up in the morning and go to sleep at night. And something happens in between there, and hopefully we had lunch together. There is a flash, a moment of insight in everyone's traditional experience where we had an aha experience, a eureka situation where something happened that we were touched at the depth of our being in such a way that we went, okay, I'm not doing this. Something is inviting me to go forward. And when we feel uncomfortable, our universal spiritual energy asked us to rise in consciousness, and we resisted. And we resisted, and that's the pull that we feel when we're uncomfortable. We've been invited to open our minds in a new way, and we don't want to go. I don't want to go. But when we finally get to the place where we go, okay, you've hit me over the head several times, I'm going to go. Like I said, it doesn't have to be a 2x4. Needs to be a little butterfly kiss, as my mother would say, a little eyelash kiss, or the wings of an angel calling you forward. That's what I choose to know is my highest and best. So this is the moment of self-discovery, where we have the opportunity to fall back into what we don't believe or doesn't resonate with us, or to move forward and expand our minds. And I believe that if you're sitting in this room, you're here to expand your mind. A quantum moment thereby, you discovered for yourself the meaning behind that which others or your tradition has told you was meaningful. In this great awakening, you don't need others to tell you how valuable it is, because you know firsthand. You have had the experience. You have been catapulted into the fourth dimension. Remember that show called Quantum Leap? So here's what a quantum leap is. All of a sudden, something you've heard forever, which you've written off as just words, has meaning. And all of a sudden you go, oh, that's what that means. Oh my, your mind just expanded, and you go, I'll never be the same. I'll never be the same. I remember I was on a sailboat waiting for my friend in the harbor. He was coming home from work, and he owned the sailboat, and he let me kick back there and read my Signs in My Textbook for the first time. And something happened. I put the book down, and I went outside, and everything was different. Everything was sparkling with electricity. The seagulls were in slow motion and blue. It was just one of those, like, I had a quantum experience, and I think and there were no drugs or alcohol involved. And I was like, had to check myself, am I okay? What's, did I eat some bad, potatoes or something? But what I had ingested was some truth. When you ingest truth, and it rings true with your spirit, and your universal consciousness expands, and you go, what just happened? And we're always trying to get back to that moment. We're always trying, we come here every Sunday. Is he going to throw me a little bone of that stuff again? Is he going to expand my mind? And maybe you take classes. And that's why you do it, because you want to know more. Why am I here? What am I doing? This is what is described as the relearning moment. When the student learns something by relearning it in their own mind, and this is the only moment in which the real learning can occur. Everything else is just regurgitation of someone else's knowledge, not our own. We are not blank slates to be filled with knowledge and value as determined by others, but rather, we are co-creators of the world through entanglement of our own mind in self-learning and self-knowledge. Quantum physics is observing with love, not judging what we're seeing as good or bad or right or wrong, but looking and going, isn't that interesting? And loving it. Can we live in that? I mean, that's, again, what we're all trying to do, is live in that moment of expectancy, of love. And so you practice your religion or your spirituality of choice and do all the things that you're supposed to do as good member of that faith, to be mindful that one day it will take on a new and profound significance for you. It will become more real to you than it ever has been before. That's why we're here. We are here to go back to cool school. You know, when I entered the school of ministry, I felt like Harry Potter. Because my mind started to be blown. And as any of our students in the School of Ministry can attest, it's a very interesting experience. Boy, howdy. And what it is they give you mountains of stuff to do. Mountains of reading, of writing, and reading and writing, books and writing, to keep you busy while you have a spiritual experience. I was like, what? It's just to keep you going over here so that we can give you something over here. That's when the mystical comes in underneath and shows you what's going on. That's what school is all about. Education means to remember. I think. Well, that's what I'm calling it today. Metaphysical practices consist of definite and conscious use of the law of mind within the thought of the one using it. Faith cures refer to the act of the individual praying that God will do something to another individual. In the one instance, the practitioner understands what he is doing. In the other, he has faith that some power will respond to his prayer. When you go to a practitioner and you give them your story, the practitioner sits there going, interesting. We don't go, oh, that's bad. Oh, that's a good, how are you going to figure that out? We know who you are. As a practitioner, we don't pay attention to your story. Sorry. Because we're holding the truth. We're holding the truth with and for you. We know who you are. All of us have a story. It's time to disconnect from that story. If we are committed to an outcome, a certain outcome, and how can you not be? We have preferences. But I would just ask you to recommit to the journey. The journey is the destination. That's what we're all trying to do, is understand the journey. It's not if you win or you lose. Excuse me. It's how you play that game. How are you playing the game? some you win and some you lose and some get rained out. But you keep playing. You don't stop. You don't stop because you lost one day. You get out there and you play again, because it's about playing the game. The byproduct is that sometimes you win and sometimes you lose. And that's okay. That's why it's a game. Commit to the game. Are you a player? Come on. Okay, the universal creative mind. Now we're going a little deeper here. For you advanced students, please perk up. As spirit, it is conscious. As law, it is subjective. That which is beyond the known laws of physics refers to what are considered unknown but intelligent forces latent to the human mind. We are all connected through a invisible umbilical. I think 90% of us have cell phones right now. If we had wires connected to them, it would be a mess in here. All going out the door to some satellite somewhere. But we don't. There is technology that is hooking us all together through things we cannot see. Scotty? Beam me there. Beam me up, beam me in, beam me out. Beam me. It's only a matter of time till we get that technology figured out. From the Science of Mind textbook, once again, the scientists of today are closer than ever. Now, this was written back in the 30s. Okay? Dr. Holmes wrote this in like 1934 or something. Scientists of today in 1934 are closer than ever to agreeing with the metaphysician that God is creative intelligence or mind wherever it is present in the universe. I think we are still very close to that. I mean, we stand on the threshold of new knowledge all the time. We are only one mouse click away, one prayer away from a demonstration. But you have to know what icon to click on for it to fix your computer. You have to know which way to pray that will work best for you. And here is some metaphysical dynamite. I reverse engineer my demonstrations. This is where I am. This is where I want to be. I act in what I want to be, and life, like a computer, fills in how to get there. Okay? So, act as though it's already so. It will be shown to you how to do that. But you have to believe that it's possible. Now, this isn't to say that you don't look at the challenge. Oh, it's not there. Sure, it's there. And maybe there's something you need to know, to learn, to understand, to bridge that gap. And there are no spiritual bypasses. You're going to need to walk through what you need to, but walk through it in love. Resist not error. You know, we fight our challenges, don't we? Oh, God, why am I going through this? It's challenging not to. But if we can stand up and go, what is your story? What is your message for me to get so that I may walk through this in such a way that it will never be a place for me to be challenged again? Because once you know the answer to the problem, once you know the trick, not that this is tricky, but once you know that there is a mystical spiritual way and you can live there, things change. So, are you okay in the mystery? Can you be okay in the not knowing how? Because that's not our business. Our business is to decide what. And as human beings, that's our biggest challenge. I don't know what I want. And the universe hears that and goes, well, let me show you what you don't want. We're demonstrating perfectly. We go, this is exactly what I want. Now, it may not be exactly that, but that's the energy I want to be in. Bring that. A good practitioner treats from their demonstration, not to it. See the difference? If you're already there in mind, there is nothing more powerful than a mind that has made up its mind to be, do, or have something. Heavy metaphysics here, kids, I know. But this is the truth. Make up your mind. The power of your decision will carry you forward. And if it's wrong, because that's been my biggest thing, what if I make the wrong choice? It will be revealed. It will be revealed. And if something isn't showing you, then it has not been revealed yet. And wait for it. Keep discovering. That's why we're here to discover. It's when we sit and go, I can't decide, so I'm just not going to decide. If you choose not to decide, you still have made a choice. Rush. The band, anyway. Okay, I'm getting over time here. So, definition of treatment. Treatment is the art, the act, and the science of consciously inducing thought within the universal subjectivity for the purpose of demonstrating that we are surrounded by a creative medium which responds to us through a law of correspondence. In its more simple meaning, treatment is the time, process, and method necessary to changing our thoughts. That's all it is. You sit down with a practitioner, they hear your story, and then they speak your truth. I know who you are. And I know that there is a way. And I know that way is not only possible, but it's happening for you right now. And I'm going to hold that energy with and for you. You can borrow my belief until you can create your own. And when you start to understand how that works, all of a sudden, the things that were not clear come into a quantum moment and shift. And that's what the classes are all about. To keep you busy while you have a spiritual experience. So it is. So I invite you to get yourself into a class, or just read the textbook. I mean, man, it's good stuff in there. Or reread it. Or read it with a friend. But let's follow our teaching and go within right now. So I invite you to close your eyes if that's comfortable for you. Take a soft focus on the candles and let the music and the words just be here now. So I invite you to bring to the forefront of your consciousness what you choose to believe the infinite source energy of all givingness is to you. You can call it whatever you want. That's your business. Christ, doorknob, peace, source energy, goddess, God, Buddha, whatever. Something is happening. And as we bring to mind that something is happening, through each one of us, we are unified in that unified field of all possibility. So I speak my word into that power, knowing that each individual who chooses activates the energy of life in such a way that energy that has always been there, waiting for our recognition of it, is now activated. We throw the switch to the on position. We click the mouse button. And the connection that has always been there has now been activated. And zoom, a demonstration is happening. Be it health, happiness, relationship, abundance, whatever it is for you, again, is your business. You get to choose what your favorite color is, but I know that it is active now. That whatever needed to happen, whatever connection needed to be made is made and is moving in such a way that is recognizable, brings a healing or a revealing of the truth in a way that works for you. Something wonderful is happening right now, and you are it. It is not far off. It is closer than hands and feet. It is the very electricity that allows you to breathe. So as we connect with that breath, knowing that there is a power that is beating our heart, breathing our body, digesting our food, allowing us to move in this plane of existence in a way that makes sense, we just say thank you. We are already thankful in our demonstration. We are treating from having and knowing and being the demonstration. So we just give great thanks for that harmony, that unity, that energy that loves us so much that it gave us this interesting experience. So we choose wisely. We call that divine energetic in all our decisions to say yes. And we let go with love, giving great thanks for the energy, the information, the ideas that we need when we need them. And we completely let this go into that living, loving law of mind where it does the work and is returned to us as divine demonstration, and we smile upon our love of this power. Letting go completely, knowing that God is doing exactly what it needs to do in every situation. We release it and affirm it together by saying, so it is. Amen. Oh, there.